Sirs, Marshals, ladies and gentlemen, can you please stand for the Lord Lieutenant?
Ladies and gentlemen, please sit down. Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Brigade Commander, ladies and gentlemen, a very, very warm welcome to this presentation this evening. My name is Captain Ian Robinson. I'm Chairman of the Reserve Forces and Cadets Association for Yorkshire and The Humber. And it's my great pleasure to welcome you all here this evening. We're here to publicly acknowledge and thank a member of reservists, adult members of the cadet forces, and employers who support them. My association is one of 13 in the country, and we support all three reserve forces. We provide and maintain the accommodation for any unit that's outside the regular wire, outside of barracks or naval base or air station. We work with units to raise the profile of reserves and cadets. We coordinate the campaign to engage and support the employers of reservists who are mobilised. We support the recruiting process for reservists. We conduct the recruiting of adult volunteers for the Army and Air Cadets. We employ the permanent staff for the Army Cadet Force, and we provide accommodation for the Army Cadet Force and Air Training Corps. And in general, we have a weather eye on the welfare for all three services, reserves and their cadets. But we do it behind the scenes quietly, and nobody ever knows about it until I get the opportunity once a year just to stand up at the beginning of this and say what we do. So that's the sort of advert over. Back to tonight. All three cadet forces are flourishing at the moment despite financial constraints and are making significant contribution to spreading the ethos of good citizenship amongst the youth of today, often in some quite difficult locations. But big society already exists. It depends on the adult volunteers behind it making it happen. Likewise, recruiting to the reserve forces remains strong and has a significant challenge. It's got to grow to almost double the size within the next 8 years. Reservists in this region are making a phenomenal contribution deployed overseas on live operations and will assume far greater responsibilities in the armed forces in the future. So we're here tonight to thank and acknowledge those that have been making this happen. And I think this is a phenomenally important evening. And thank you again for all being here tonight. So finally, before we get the show on the road, could I thank the Lord Lieutenant for finding the time to make this happen tonight. Very, very grateful. Thank 38 Signals for allowing it. This is great. I can say I'm hosting it, but actually all I say to the commanding officer is make it happen, and he does. So thank you very much indeed. And again, thank you all very much for joining us tonight. And I do hope you enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.
Lord Lieutenant Certificates. The Lord Lieutenant Certificate is an award in recognition of exceptional service by a volunteer. It is intended to supplement honours bestowed by Her Majesty the Queen in the New Year and birthday honours lists, and in precedence ranks after such awards. The certificate is in the form of an illuminated scroll signed by the Lord Lieutenant of the county. It is an award of high merit, of which a recipient may be justly proud. Lord Lieutenant certificates may be awarded to any serving volunteer of whatever rank for exceptional service over a period of time. To be eligible, an individual must be serving as a volunteer in the reserve or cadet forces on the 1st of March of the year in which they are recommended. The award is not intended as a routine recognition of long and faithful service in the Reserve and Cadet forces. The criterion of exceptional service is the principal factor for which the award is presented. First of all, Lord Lieutenant, sir. Warrant Officer Class 2 Ross, 38 Signal Regiment. W02 Ross has served with the TA for 20 years. During that time, she has undertaken several full-time reserve engagements, including tours to the Falkland Islands and the Balkans. During these engagements, and consistently throughout her service, she has always been and remains an enthusiastic and very committed member of the Reserve Forces, who consistently does her best for the soldiers under her command and the organisation as a whole. Over her TA career, W02 Ross has gained a variety of trade qualifications as a communicator, storeman and chef, demonstrating her flexibility and determination to contribute to the TA and her unit. Warrant Officer Class 2 Ross, 38 Signal Regiment. Staff Sergeant Bromwich, 212 Field Hospital. Staff Sergeant Bromwich joined the TA in 1995. She was mobilised and deployed to Cyprus, Jordan, Gibraltar, Iraq and Afghanistan. In Iraq in 2004, she worked in the medical stores. In Afghanistan in 2007, she worked under austere conditions as a ward master, ensuring casualties were treated and evacuated in a manner and timeframe demanded by their injuries. In 2011, she volunteered to work as an assistant welfare officer whilst the unit deployed to Afghanistan, providing excellent support to families left behind. She continues to use her vast experience to facilitate deployment pathways and unit training. Staff Sergeant Peter Bromwich, 212 Field Hospital. Sergeant Moulson, 38 Signal Regiment. Sergeant Moulson has had a long and varied TA career, including several operational tours and trade training appointments. She undertook a full-time reserve post with 102 Logistics Brigade Headquarters Signal Squadron in 2002 and later served in Bosnia as part of Op Oculus. Most recently, she was deployed as part of Op Olympic. During her 25 years of service, she has always remained cheerful and enthusiastic and has always strived to develop the soldiers under her command. Sergeant Moulson, 38th Signal Regiment. Chief Petty Officer Martin, Sheffield Sea Cadet Corps. Chief Petty Officer Martin joined the Sea Cadets at Sheffield in 1971 and quickly gained many qualifications, but his passion is based around seamanship and waterborne activities. Rising through the ranks, he became a Chief Petty Officer and focused his talents on teaching cadets. He is currently the Unit Training Officer responsible for the planning and arrangement of training to ensure that cadets get the full range of activities on offer and enjoy the full cadet experience. As well as being the unit training officer, he is still keen to be at the coalface and can be found regularly teaching cadets over a wide range of subjects, such as seamanship and rowing. With a wealth of experience, he is willing and enthusiastic, takes responsibility and is a devoted volunteer. Chief Petty Officer Martin, Sheffield Sea Cadet Corps. Civilian instructor, Lieutenant Commander retired Stewart Pocock, Doncaster Sea Cadet Corps. Stewart Pocock joined the Sea Cadets at Gravesend in 1964 and has been committed to the cause for nearly 50 years. He rose through the ranks to become Lieutenant Commander in 1990. With a keen interest in the sea, he specialised in navigation and getting trips at sea for the cadets. Consequently, he became involved in command of the Sea Cadets Eastern Area's own offshore power vessels, Abinger and Gambier, which allowed cadets to experience life at sea for up to a week at a time. Despite being forced to step down from the Sea Cadets duty in 2005 due to ill health, the struggling Doncaster unit saw him rejoin the organisation to do his bit so that the unit could offer young people the many opportunities he had experienced. Civilian instructor, Stewart Pocock, Doncaster Sea Cadet Corps. Captain John Reddit, Humberside and South Yorkshire Army Cadet Force. Captain John Reddit joined the Army Cadet Force in 2002, having previously been commissioned into the Air Training Corps from 1990 to 2002. He has served in a variety of roles in the county, but most notably, he commanded Manor Top Detachment, one of the largest and most challenging. He was a member of the recruiting team and currently is the Regimental Signals Officer. As the Regimental Signals Officer, he has led on all aspects of signals training and development within the county. Captain John Reddit has always strived to ensure the well-being and enjoyment of the cadets and instructors under his command is paramount. Captain John Reddit, Humberside and South Yorkshire Army Cadet Force. I'd now like to hand over to Richard Lenton, who's the Sabre Campaign Director for Yorkshire and Humber.
Lord Lieutenant, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank the Lord Lieutenant for agreeing to present the certificate tonight for a supportive employer. These types of certificates are awarded to employers who show commitment and support to reservists. They create no barriers to the release of the volunteers in training and the ethos of the great work reservists perform alongside their regular counterparts. The certificate is issued in national recognition and acknowledgement of their commitment in supporting the reservists in their employ. It's signed and endorsed by the Secretary of State for Defence and the Chief of the Defence Staff. I would like to ask Mr Gary Snagge of Cloverleaf Developments to receive his presentation from the Lord Lieutenant.
Lieutenant, sir.
High Sheriff, Lord Mayor, ladies and gentlemen. First, a welcome to the High Sheriff. Tomorrow night we'll be conducting her own awards ceremony, which is for groups of people, and with extraordinary 90 nominations for it, so that's going to be a great night. For those of you who don't know the High Sheriff, you're not alone. She and I were dining together at the accountants' dinner last Friday, but she was sitting with a very distinguished cricketer and now England cricket selector, Jeff Miller, who stood up to do the comic turn at the end of the evening and said, "I've been sitting with the High Sheriff and found we got something really in common." She said to me, "I don't know who the hell you are," and he said, "I don't know who you are either." That was soon sorted out. A welcome to the Lord Mayor, who in his time was a member of the TA and subsequently worked for the Cadets as well. So by my calculations, if we had another 29,999 people like John Campbell, we would have no problems in finding all the additional reservists we need over the next few years, and indeed the people who are going to man the additional 100 cadet units as well. May I congratulate all who have received their certificates tonight, and to the one employer with his too. There have been deployed since 2003 some 27,000 reservists in support of the regular troops. That is a phenomenal contribution, and we do need to remember that, yes, that contribution has been made in Afghanistan and elsewhere, but it's this eternal triangle which requires not only the individual to serve, but an employer who understands the needs of that reservist, and indeed the families who have a lot to think about and worry about whilst that reservist is being deployed. So a thank you to all them. And a thank you too to those representing the cadet movement tonight. The cadet movement is, and it's not my words, one of the world's great youth movements, much to be encouraged, and the thought of another 100 units over the next year or two fills my heart with gladness, and we look forward to seeing it. So congratulations to all concerned.
CO 38 Signal Regiment.
Lord Lieutenant, High Sheriff, Lord Mayor, Brigadier, ladies and gentlemen. I get the easy bit. All I get to do is stand here and say thank you very much for coming to join us tonight. These are quite important ceremonies, and I'm very pleased that you all managed to fight your way through the miserable weather outside in the fog and find Manor Top, despite how well disguised we try and keep it. So thank you for coming. We have some drinks and some food on in the Warrant Officers and Sergeants' mess after the presentation, and after the Lord Lieutenant has done some photo calls, and it'd be great to see you all up there later.
Can you all be standing for the national anthem?